Final.
Come championship bound, baby! Woo! Big club, baby! Woo! Here, man. It got a little crazy out there, but we made it through.
We're gonna keep stacking the day, so see you in the championship.
Bow, bow, bow! Let's go!
June 17th wasn't just a game. It was a grudge match with receipts. Everybody in Indiana had May 30th circled in their minds. The night Jacy Sheldon and the Connecticut Sun walked away, while Sophie Cunningham and Sydney Colson were left banged up on the floor, and the refs didn't lift a finger. It was ugly, it was dirty, and it was unforgettable. So when Sheldon went right at Caitlin Clark in the rematch, poking her straight in the eye like it was a street fight, something inside that Fever squad snapped. And Sophie Cunningham? She was about to unleash one of the boldest, most payback-loaded flagrant fouls the WNBA has ever seen. If you're riding with the Fever, drop it in the comments. CC and Spicy Sophie. Now picture this. May 30th, Indiana Fever versus Connecticut Sun. From the tip-off, something felt wrong. Sure, the scoreboard looked like just another hard-fought battle between two teams fighting for position. But the Sun weren't just physical, they were reckless. Their style went beyond competitive grit. It felt like they were hunting. First blow. Sophie Cunningham goes down. The contact was brutal, way too heavy for what should have been routine play. The arena gasped because it didn't look like basketball anymore. It looked targeted. Minutes later, Sydney Colson took her hit, another accidental collision that had fans furious. And who was always at the center of it? Jacy Sheldon. She was playing with that brand of rough, sneaky aggression that makes the blood boil. But here's the kicker. Sheldon had history. Back in college, when she faced Clark in those Iowa versus Ohio State clashes, it was the same routine. Sheldon shadowed her every move, bumped her off screens, talked trash after dead balls. Her whole mission was simple: get inside Clark's head and break her rhythm. This wasn't just competition anymore, it was personal. And the refs? They acted like they were watching a different game. Hard fouls went uncalled, dangerous plays brushed off like they were nothing. Clark watched her teammates crumble in pain while Sheldon walked away untouched, not even a warning from the officials. The frustration on the Fever's bench was boiling over. That night, Indiana lost 85-83, but the scoreboard wasn't the biggest wound. They lost Sophie and Sydney to injuries that should have been preventable. And when Clark lined up in the handshake line, the look she shot Sheldon said everything. This wasn't finished. Fast forward to June 17th, the day circled in red. Clark is back from her quad injury, and she's hot off a dominant win against the undefeated New York Liberty. Her second game back and her energy walking into that arena, you could tell she hadn't forgotten a single detail from May 30th. The way she stared down the sun during warm-ups said it all. This wasn't business, it was payback. The ball tips, and Sheldon is right there again, glued to Clark like her career depends on it. Every possession, she's bumping her, pushing the limits, playing that same dirty brand of basketball. Fans knew what was brewing. It was déjà vu with a twist. By the time the third quarter hit, the air was thick. Everyone in the building could feel it coming, and then, the moment that flipped everything on its head exploded right in front of us. Clark is dribbling up the court, locked in, when Sheldon slides over like she's about to go for a steal. But instead of swiping the ball, her finger jabs straight into Clark's eye. The impact is instant. Clark's head whips back and the crowd gasps in disbelief. Clark clutches her face immediately, pain written all over her expression, but there's something else there too, pure anger. She's blinking hard, trying to clear her vision, but you can tell what's running through her mind. This wasn't just bad luck. This was personal. The same player who went after her teammates was now coming for her, and she wasn't about to let it slide. Clark reacts the way any human would. She shoves Sheldon away. And can you blame her? Someone just jammed a finger into her eye socket. Anyone alive would have done the same thing. The arena roars. Fans pointing at the replay screens showing the eye poke in crystal clear detail. But instead of fixing the situation, the refs twist the knife. While Clark is still hunched over holding her eye, clearly the victim, the officials reach for their whistles and somehow slap her with a technical foul. The victim, the one who just got poked in the eye, punished for defending herself. The crowd is losing it, booing, yelling, waving their arms at the replay screens. Clark just dropped 32 points in her first game back from injury, and now she's being treated like the villain. Unreal. And if that wasn't outrageous enough, things were about to spiral even further. Because Marina Mabrey, she saw everything and decided to take it to a level nobody was ready for. As Clark's still recovering, Mabrey barrels in and body checks her like, this is hockey, not basketball. No finesse, no basketball play, just raw impact. Clark goes flying backward, crashing onto the hardwood, stunned and shaken. You can see it in her eyes and disbelief that another Sun player just cheap-shotted her in plain sight. The Fever bench explodes. Teammates leap up, pointing, yelling, demanding the refs finally do their job. The crowd goes ballistic, screaming at the refs while Coach Stephanie White is on the sidelines completely unhinged, shouting, throwing her arms around, pointing directly at Mabrey. She's pleading with the officials to get control before this game turns into a full-on brawl. But the refs, they downgraded. Just a common technical foul. The same call Clark got for shoving Sheldon after being poked in the eye. Think about that. Eye poke, push away. Technical. Full-on body check, knocking a star player to the ground, same technical. The math ain't mathing. Everyone in the arena knows it. When the game ends, Coach White lets it rip in the post-game press conference. Her voice shakes with frustration as she says, when the officials don't control the ball game, when they allow that stuff to happen, and it's been happening all season long, this is what happens. She's had enough of watching her team get targeted while referees stand around clueless. By now, the message was crystal clear. The refs weren't going to protect Clark, so her teammates, they'd have to do it themselves. Sophie Cunningham sat on the bench, locked in, watching all the chaos unfold, and she'd had enough. Final minute of the game, Fever sitting comfortably at 87-70, but Sophie wasn't looking at the scoreboard. She was looking at Jacy Sheldon, and she was remembering every dirty play that went down since May 30th. She remembered being the one hacked out of the game with no protection from the refs. She remembered Clark getting jabbed in the eye, treated like the villain after defending herself. She remembered Marina Mabrey laying her teammate out with a body check like this was hockey. All of it replayed in her head, and in that moment Sophie knew. She was going to make a statement the entire league would feel. Sheldon drives to the basket and Sophie sees her shot. Intentional, locked in, no hesitation. She lines her up and boom, wraps her up hard and sends her crashing to the floor.
I mean, is that displacement? I think it is.
Oh, and Marina Mabrey's going to get ejected. If the officials saw that, Marina Mabrey is going to get ejected.
Well, they're going to go and look at it. Look at Mabrey. She's got a scar on one side, a scratch on one side of her face, a scratch on the other side. It's not from the game today. I asked her about it. She's always in the mix. There's a lot of contact here. There's a scrape across the face. That's what Clark did.
This wasn't a defensive stop. This was payback. This was Sophie Cunningham serving up pure justice in front of everybody. The refs didn't hesitate.
June
Flagrant
17th wasn't just another
automatic
game.
Ejection.
It was payback
Sophie
time.
knew it was coming,
Remember
and she
May
didn't
30th?
care. Sheldon and Lindsay Allen got tossed too after the scuffle. 3 players ejected in total. But the message? Already delivered loud and clear. The Fever weren't going to be targets anymore. And while Sophie walked off like a warrior, the Fever kept ballin'. Clark closed the night with 20 points and 6 assists, leading Indiana to an 88-71 victory that felt way bigger than the scoreboard. Natasha Howard dropped her 50th career double-double with 16 points and 12 rebounds, while Kelsey Mitchell added 17 to seal the deal. The stat sheet was solid, but what everyone in that arena knew? The real highlight was Sophie standing up when it mattered most. This wasn't just a win, this was revenge. The Fever proved they won't be bullied, they won't be intimidated, and they'll protect their own no matter what. And that statement carried weight because it sent Indiana straight into their first ever Commissioner's Cup final in franchise history. But even more importantly, it warned the whole WNBA, if you target their players, you're gonna feel the consequences. Clark finally got her justice after being disrespected. Sophie Cunningham cemented herself as the teammate who refuses to let dirty plays slide. And the Fever showed the basketball world they're not backing down from anybody. That's real loyalty. And it's rare to see in professional sports today. This team isn't just talented, they're a family that handles business when the refs won't. Now all eyes are on July 1st, when the Fever face the Minnesota Lynx in the Commissioner's Cup final. After watching what they did to the Sun, Fever Nation knows one thing. 2025 is looking brighter than ever. Remember this game whenever somebody tries to tell you loyalty doesn't matter, because Sophie Cunningham just proved it does. If you're rocking with the fever, drop a CC and Spicy Sophie in the comments. Make sure you hit like, smash that subscribe button, and turn on all notifications so you never miss the heat. Click the next video on your screen, and we'll see you in the next one.